Ladies and gentlemen, there are numerous articles on this topic. Major Democratic donors back Liz Cheney in re-election bid. CBS News, Washington Times, top Democratic donors boost Liz Cheney's campaign. New York Times, Liz Cheney draws Democratic donors because of committee role. The CBS News article was about an hour ago. I'm going to touch upon this and the insidious and really just embarrassing Twitter response, not just embarrassing, like shameful Twitter response to the passing of a woman who is loved by her family and by a great many people, Ivana Trump. So you have a situation where Democrats claim that Trump is this bully and this tyrant. And look how they acted when Trump's brother passed away. Look how these wonderful, morally superior liberal Democrats acted when Ivana Trump passed away today. So we'll talk about that. I mean, it's the height of duplicity and hypocrisy. These are the same people who think Trump deserves everything he gets. And it's like, well, you have no moral compass. If you think Trump is an insulting bully who demeans people, look in the mirror, because that's what you've done to Trump since 2015, when he decided to run and become a political obstacle. So you're no better. In many cases, you're worse because you influence social media companies. But here, this is very interesting. So Ivana Trump passed away today. We're going to talk about that tonight at 10 p.m. So be here at 10 p.m. Pacific for the live stream on this channel in a couple of hours. Ladies and gentlemen, you look and Liz Cheney is backed by Democratic donors. So you have a CBS article, Washington Times. We agree on little, if anything, but she put her country over party. It's like, no, if you put your country over party, then you wouldn't be accusing Trump of things he never did, because that tears the country apart. Okay, by the way, hit subscribe to the Nuclear Confrontation and Stock Market Crash channel and the Bitcoin 10K Oil Prices 150 Recession channel. Those two channels are below in the description as well. If you want to support my work, my Patreon is below. Top Democratic donors boost Liz Cheney's campaign for putting country over party. What they really mean is putting the Democratic Party over the country. She's putting one political party over the country, not party over country. She voted alongside Trump 90+% of the time. Adam Kinzinger voted for Trump. And I believed he voted against the first impeachment. And he voted 90%. He voted for Trump 2 years ago, voted 90% for Trump, but he's a blue state Republican in Illinois who wants book deals. He wants, positive media coverage. So does Liz Cheney. The issue is that here's why half the electorate will vote for Donald Trump, okay? And why Liz Cheney, Mitt Romney, Adam Kinzinger, Paul Ryan are no longer influential within the Republican Party. This is why the Republican Party has become a Trump Republican Party, okay? The Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld-Lincoln Project foreign policy is not the foreign policy of Donald Trump. If you look up the word, the meaning of a word that I'm not going to use starts with an F, but it's authoritarian, tyrant. Okay, look up the meaning. Militarism is one of the meanings, okay? Militarism and, a removal of the rights of citizens. So Trump doesn't want to erase the First and Second Amendment. It's Democrats that censored and silenced any discussion of Hunter's emails, okay? Which showed clear violations of the law, unlike Kushner, who never violated the law. So really quickly, when they say, oh, Kushner made $640 million, he was making that money prior. His family is like $1.8 billion in terms of wealth. The Bidens were never wealthy until Joe became vice president. Then they got wealthy. Then we see the emails saying, oh, how can you use your influence on the company's behalf? And then you have 150 suspicious banking transactions. So yeah, completely different issue. But here, you're talking about apples and oranges. What they do is they're actually caught with corruption, and then they say, well, their side is worse. But the reality is they're much more corrupt, or they're actually corrupt, whereas the other side didn't engage in corruption. So Trump didn't conspire with any foreign officials. The Clintons did. The DNC did. That's why they paid an FEC fine for the Steele dossier. And the Steele dossier was compiled with help from sources from that country, an active government source from that country. Okay? They're the ones who conspired with another country. But anyway, again, this is like explaining quantum physics to a house cat. If you try to say, hey, look at the evidence. Look, the Steele dossier was literally purchased by Trump's direct political rival. Hunter has emails saying that he gives 10% of his revenue to Joe, and that there's 150 suspicious financial transactions linked to Hunter and Joe and James. They won't even acknowledge it because they can't possibly read Hunter's emails that show clear violations of the law, where people are thanking him for introducing Joe to them. So it's like they lied through their teeth. There's no running tally in the Washington Post because there are too many lies that would implicate the entire Democratic Party. Notice how they're like 40,000 lies Trump told. If you use the same standard of suspicion or logic or critique, if you use the logic that they utilized to critique Trump or to accuse him of lying, you would get 80,000 lies with Bill and Hillary and President Obama and Biden. Okay, and his lies, like Trump's lies, are about crowd size. Hillary's lies are about top secret intelligence on private servers. A little bit different in terms of lies. Okay. Hunter's lies and Joe's are about like clear pay-to-play schemes where they actually did sell access to the United States government. That's why he forced out a prosecutor. That never happened before. You never forced out a prosecutor before. The United States government has never forced out a prosecutor, or there's never been a vice president to force out a government official and have a person like Hunter working for a company the government official was about to investigate. Okay, and you have an email saying, how can you use your influence on the company's behalf? Then they say, well, a timeline doesn't add up. A timeline adds up perfectly. Money is exchanged, and then there's a relationship that is fostered or created. It's not that difficult. Graft? Democrats have been engaged in honest graft. That's what they called it since Tammany Hall. About to sneeze. But anyway, be here tonight for the live stream. The reason, at 10 p.m., the reason that Liz Cheney is going after Trump is because Bush destroyed the Republican Party. Just like Biden is about to absolutely, obliterate the Democratic Party for like a generation. Okay, which if they haven't, the political party is run on people like Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, Twitter employees, social media algorithms. If you had a free discussion, loyalists within the intelligence agencies, if you actually were able to discuss topics that Democrats, have forbidden the country to discuss, then there would be no political party. They wouldn't have a political party because you'd have a free-flow debate, discussion, dialogue, discourse of ideas, just like when they try to silence and suppress Hunter's emails. The New York Post deserves a Pulitzer Prize. So does the Daily Mail. Pulitzer Prizes, numerous ones. But you look, and Democrats are funding Liz Cheney's campaign because she is a relic of the Republican Party. They're trying desperately the Lincoln Project and Never Trump Republicans. Trump has taken a political party that for, decades has been pretty similar to the Democratic Party in terms of major issues like foreign policy and economic policy. I mean, there are obviously differences, but when it comes to sending Americans off to never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts, Democrats agree with Republicans. They have for the past 20-plus years. Trump breaks that mold. He's going to engage in tariffs against China. No Republican would do that. When they say that Trump did things that Republicans didn't do, exactly, that's why people vote for Trump. And people vote for Trump. Half the electorate will always vote for Trump because they know that the other side is comprised of greater bullies, people who lie infinitely more, people who lie about servers with top secret intel on them. And I want, by the way, a Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump 2024. I don't think it's going to be difficult for Hillary to surpass mashed potato brains, okay? Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump 2024, I'm calling it. I told you Clinton would lose to Trump, and I told you the stock market would crash, and it's in September of 2021. So subscribe to the Stock Market Crash. Now, I'm telling you, it's going to happen, and nobody will be happier because I want every person on the left to then tell their viewers to vote Clinton again. When I was saying in 2016 that she would lose, again, they did, the Supreme Court, they did that to themselves. They could have won with Bernie Sanders, who turned out to be a tool of the Democratic Party. But anyway, they would have had 3 liberal justices. But see, again, they always do that to themselves, and then they scream at the top of their lungs. Give me your thoughts below. Be here tonight for the live stream, 10 p.m.